Hello, everyone, and today I want to rave about the topic that I think is a game changer in the field of mental health and addiction, that is trauma informed care. Now, trauma informed care isn't just a very typical counseling process or motivational interview process. Its framework is mostly based in evidence and compassion and healing a person from whatever they have been through in the past in order to preserve their present and for a brighter future. The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, or CAMHSA, defines it as an approach that realizes the importance of what a past trauma can do to a person and how to prevent re traumatization of the person in the future. And honestly, I personally believe that it's one of the most transformative ways that we can engage with others. The main reason why I chose this topic is because of an exposure or an experience with a specialist in this field. I have had the opportunity to interview a counselor who specializes in trauma informed care and how to drive a person's counseling session based on trauma informed care. That is what really opened my eyes and gave me more insight, and I understood the importance and relevance of this practice in our field. In Canada, the Center for Addiction and Mental Health, CMHA, highlights that trauma is often a root cause of both mental illness and substance use disorder. Trauma informed practices means we look not just on the surface level, like we don't just look at the symptoms or what is happening at present, but we dig deeper into what might have led to what is currently happening, whether that's substance abuse, avoidance, or aggression, and we ask different kind of questions when we are practicing trauma informed care. Small shifts like from what is wrong with you to what happened to you is where the difference between general counseling and trauma informed counseling comes at play. And this very small shift, as described in the Public Health Agency of Canada's Trauma Informed Approaches report, changes the entire tone of the work. It changes how we as practitioners can perceive the client's problems and can aid them in the process. Without a trauma informed lens and a trauma informed practice, our responses might default to just being judgmental or quick fixes that can fix the problem at present, but not completely understand how the problem arose in the first place and how it can be prevented and how re traumatization can be prevented from the problem. A trauma informed practice, as outlined by the Canadian Centre on Abuse, Use and Addictions in 2022, emphasizes safety, trust, collaboration, and empowerment between the counselor and the client. It's not just about treating the crisis at hand, it's about building a relationship of trust where healing actually takes place, and healing in the true sense, not just to find a solution to the current problem. From a professional point of view, I have seen how this approach reduces barriers to engagement. Clients who have had negative experiences from their past related to culture, whether they have been shamed, not believed, or have been ignored, or have been abused in any way, this particular approach is more likely to make them feel that they are looked after, they are heard and understood, and that brings a drastic shift in their process of healing or in their process of recovering from substance use disorder. Personally, my own viscosity journey has made me realize that every one of us carries some or the other thing from our past. We have our own particular lived experiences that shapes our reactions and our reality, and the trauma informed care requires me to manage my own biases and regulate my own gut reactions so I can fully understand the client without my own schema that I have formed or my own biases. And if I am in this field and I'm raving about trauma informed practice, the reason is that I think it is much more than just trauma informed practice. It is very much needed and should be put to use in any and every counseling session as a promise that clients are not defined by what happened to them right now, and that their coping strategies, even the harmful ones, are understood in context. If we consistently deliver that promise as practitioners, and we understand in the context of the client where they are coming from and how they are where they are, I think that is where the change will begin. I think that is where the stigmatization will stop. If we can consistently deliver this particular promise as recommended by the Public Health Agency of Canada, then we can change the way addictions and mental health services are experienced in this country. And honestly, that's something worth raving about, that I believe. Thank you very much.